So welcome everyone. Welcome to this feature live interview during these times of lots of changes in the world. We are very happy that you're here with us, and we want us to let you know that you're here. Please leave a comment when you're watching this live or during the review or the replay, sorry. Today we've had some technical challenges, so we're gonna be sharing for the first time this live interview, not only on the community, but also during the on our Facebook page. So right now I'm gonna share it on the, or maybe it's not possible. Well, I'm gonna share it a bit later. And I want to thank you for being here. Today we have a special gift for you, where we not only have two very powerful guests. We have Belen, Carpio, and Santana, who are two transformational trainers from Florida. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And what's gonna happen today is that Mio and Belen are gonna share some resources, some useful information for all the women in this community who are maybe going through some burnout or exhaustion, because that's a lot of what's going on right now during the situation in the world and in our lives in general. So again, welcome to this Feature Friday live interview. And whether you are feeling exhausted or burnout, you are in the right place. Thank you for watching. And I want to start by introducing our guests for today. Welcome, Mio. Welcome, Belen. Tell us a bit about yourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christina, for having us. We're so excited to be here. My name is Mio Santana. I'm a transformational trainer, and I'm the founder and creator of Divine Journey. It's a transformational program that works with men, women, and the LGBTQ community to harmonize energies of the feminine and the masculine and live your best life. I launched my business about 2 years ago, and I've worked with hundreds of people to help them harmonize their energies and improve their relationships and improve their overall quality of life. So I'm super excited to be doing this work. And I myself have been in the transformational industry and my own transformational journey for over 10 years. So there's a lot to cover.
Thank you so much. Mio.
And yep. And I am Belen Carpio. I have a background in education and psychology. I was a teacher for some years, and then I realized that I wanted to take my life to the next level and teach soft skills to people. That is leadership, creativity, how to support with problems, things like that. And that's when I started doing a transformational training, where I eventually met Mio. And then we chose to become trainers. We both studied together. So it's a pleasure to keep doing this work with her and supporting people with this work. And now I am becoming a spiritual life coach also.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies and leaders. That's what I was gonna say. I have had the opportunity to meet both these amazing, powerful women of this community in person. I know how connected to their purpose they are and how driven they are. So I'm very thankful to have them here sharing this this topic today. And I want to start by asking Belen, can you tell us a bit about burnout? Where does it come from?
So burnout, I want to, before telling you where it comes from, I want to tell you, like, burnout is something that is happening a lot with a lot of women, okay? And it has to do with something that we will explore a little bit later, but it has to do with not being balanced with your energies. And as women, we have we have had every role that you can think of. So we're not only producing, we're also doing things at home. We're doing a lot. And that is producing a burnout out of an imbalance of our energies. And I would love Mio to tell you a little bit more about this topic. So Mio.
Absolutely. Yeah, Belen, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I know that this group of women that are probably watching today are very career driven, get the job done, are out there creating, producing. And, we live in a Western industrialized society that pretty much promotes that. They promote production and they kind of, forget about the individual, the human being. And then to Belen's point, the woman is left to not only raise a home and keep a home in order, but also to be out there producing, working, 60, 80 hours a week. And then on top of that, you bring a pandemic and, the 10 plates are spinning at the same time, and it could be overbearing. And so oftentimes people are burning the candle at both ends and they're just exhausted, pulling their hair out and can't seem to find that equilibrium, can't seem to find that balance and that peace inside. Because once you're on the wheel, once you're the hamster on the wheel, it's very hard to stop it because it's like an insatiable beast. You just have to keep feeding it and keep going. Because if you fall asleep, you'll stay sleeping. So you have to keep going, keep going, keep going. So it just perpetuates itself and it grows more onto itself until finally you reach burnout. And burnout is not a fun place to be. Burnout is complete and utter exhaustion. Burnout is you can't even think straight. You can't even put a sentence together. You don't know where you left your shoes. You don't know where you left your keys. You're spinning around and, it's really not a fun place to be. So our hope today with the conversation we're going to have is to help bring you back to focus, back to balance, and help you with really cool tips and ways that you can balance your energy.
Yeah. And with what you're saying, that there's no joy. After a day of being exhausted, there is no joy and there's no fun in life. And I think that's a big thing that people want in their lives. And we're missing out on that because we're doing so much and we're ending up our day with exhaustion.
I love what the analogy that you use, that we're like on the wheel going around and around and around. And so it just shows that we are very much into routines. And besides all that you said, it also makes us very much focused on repeating. We are not really creative. We're not really looking at options. So I think that's also something very interesting that you mentioned. And what are some other signs that women who are watching today can or could be feeling, or how can they know that they are experiencing imbalance in their energy?
Absolutely. And you actually just pointed to it, Christina. You made a very, astute point, which was the repetition. So when you're in repetition, when you're the hamster on the wheel, that's the first sign. When you see that there's only monotony, there's only the same thing you've been doing. It's like remember that movie, Groundhog Day, where it's like the same thing over and over and over and over. And you're just like, oh my God, when is it going to end? But you just can't seem to stop. It's just going and going and going. That's the first sign. And what that indicates is that you are primarily in the masculine energy. So when you're doing and going, you're primarily in the masculine energy, which is an energy of movement. It's an aggressive type of energy. So it's the type of energy that goes and gets something done, that brings something to fruition. And so what happens is when you're in that repetitive energy and you're just in the masculine energy, there's nothing that you're not nourishing yourself or replenishing yourself or filling yourself with any of the energy that you need to continue. So you're pretty much running on empty.
That's very useful, and I can see how I've been in that situation myself so many years ago, until we are really exhausted, burnout. I was even depressed partly because I didn't stop on time.
Yeah. So other signs are not feeling creative, not feeling that you can have like new ideas, new projects. You're not going anywhere with your visions, what you want in your life, with your goals. You're doing the same thing. You're, by the end of the day, you don't want to do anything else. You may just want to lie down on your couch and just disconnect with Netflix, social medias, or something else, because you literally physically and mentally cannot keep going.
Yeah, that's very important that you mentioned that, because one of the main keys to know that you're in burnout is, you know, that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back. So when you're in that state of perpetual masculine energy, you're in burnout, you're in exhaustion, and you feel like any little thing that were to come your way and be one little problem, one little thing out of the ordinary, would be like an explosion. Like you just cannot handle it. Like it's too much stress, too much anxiety, just for any little problem that were to appear. If you're feeling like that, that's a key sign that you're in burnout.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies. And then there's another thing that I think that is really, really special that you bring, that is not so well known for many people. That is the topic related to the feminine and masculine energies, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. Can you tell us a bit more about that, please?
Absolutely. You know, the feminine and masculine energies permeate my work. They're the crux of what I do. I'm very passionate about these energies, and the energies are something that permeate the entire universe. Everything in the universe has feminine and masculine energies. There are ancient teachings that teach us about this, from Chinese philosophy and Chinese medicine to the Tao Te Ching to the Hermetic principles. I mean, there's tons of literature that explain how the feminine and masculine energies work, but they permeate everything in the universe, from animals, from nature, to our being, to our organs, to the human being within us. And so they're basically energies that have different how do you call it, aspects to them. So for example, like I was saying earlier, masculine energy is an aggressive type of energy. It's not aggressive in a bad way. Aggressive meaning like it moves forward. It's the energy that gets something done. It's the energy that creates the spark of movement, of action. And so the feminine energy is the opposite of the masculine energy, but they're complementary opposites. So the feminine energy is the receiving type of energy. It's the energy that pretty much takes in whatever, like for example, the masculine energy is the doing energy, and the feminine energy is the receiving type of energy. So, oh, sorry, I'm somebody's knocking on the door. Go ahead, Belen, take it.
It's okay.
I'll put myself on mute a second.
Yeah. So the feminine is the one that receives. The feminine is the one that creates, the one that is the planning. It's the planning of everything. And then the masculine is the go do whatever you planned. And going back to what I said at the beginning of this interview, is that right now, women have the role, and we have to separate the role of feminine, like of women and men, that's role. And then we're talking about the energies, the energy, feminine and masculine. Those are two different things. But what is happening is women, the role of women is that we are working to produce, and we're also doing everything at home. And so we are producing everywhere, we're doing everywhere. And there, as humanity as a whole, we are all in a lot of the masculine energy, and we're forgetting to be in the feminine. We're forgetting to balance with the feminine and to flow from one to the other. And that's what is causing exhaustion in men and women. But women, especially because we took on an extra role, an extra thing to do. And it doesn't mean that women shouldn't work. I'm not saying that. But how to work and balance it with the feminine energy and retake some of that feminine energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And I apologize for that interruption, but Carl Jung taught it as the anima and the animus, which teaches that inside every woman, there's the operating system of masculine, of the man. And inside every man, there's an operating system of the feminine, of the woman. And so the woman naturally is operating from the masculine energy. And so to Belen's point, which is absolutely right, when you're in the masculine energy and you're not balancing any feminine energy with that, you're going to experience burnout. And so because the woman is automatically in the operating system of the masculine, she's already doing a lot. And then on top of that, she's taking on the role of the mother, the role of the wife, the role of the caretaker in the house, the role of the nurturer. So it all compounds on top of each other and it becomes too much. And if you don't balance it with the feminine energy and replenish yourself with the feminine energy, that's where the lack of harmony comes. That's where the imbalance comes. And you start to feel it in your body.
Thank you so much. I do realize that there are lots of concepts that we don't manage and then we don't realize, and how important it is to actually realize how important it is to work with both energies. And I love that you work with this and you're supporting many women and men with this work. So how can our viewers learn more and balance their energies? How can they work with you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a holistic approach. There's no like magic pill that someone can take, and every individual is unique. So everything that you're experiencing in your life is unique to you and the way that your body is responding. So every person is an individual, journey basically. And so what we do is we really look at the individual and we come from a transformative type of come from, which is how you do one thing is how you do everything in your life. So what is it that you're doing in your life? How is it that you're being that is creating the results that you have? And then we take it from there and build from that. And so, when we're talking about the feminine and the masculine energies, first of all, awareness is number one. Once somebody becomes aware that they have these energies, that they're in them, that they're able to manage them and balance them, that's half the battle. Because then you start to observe yourself and you start to see the patterns that you have. You start to see, like Christina, you mentioned the hamster wheel earlier, how you're in that hamster wheel and you start to notice, okay, I'm in the hamster wheel now. What can I do to bring more feminine energy in? Okay, let me take a warm bath. Let me sit down and read a book. Let me rest. Let me nourish myself. Oftentimes in the circles that I do with women, I remind them, did you eat? Did you sleep? Did you take a shower? Like the basic hierarchical of needs, Maslow's hierarchy, like base number one, did you get those things done? Because oftentimes we're waking up, getting dressed and leaving. We don't even have an egg. We don't even have a orange juice. We just run out the door and go be something for someone else. And so you're running on empty. And so awareness is the most important thing. Once you're aware of it and you can start observing yourself, then that's half the battle.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we have created a program to support women and men to learn about these energies, like go deep into each energy. So each week we will be focusing on first, what is the feminine energy? Tips and discovering and like seeing it from the man perspective, from the women perspective, like really work on it. Then the second week, it will be about the masculine energy, and learning all about that one. And then the 2 weeks after that, we will be working on integrating, on embracing both energies, and how to do it experientially. Because on the what we do with Mio, we're transformational trainings that we do experiential work. So what that means is that you will have an experience of integrating, of balancing both energies. So it will not only be like mental work or just a lecture, it will be working together, the men and the women together, to create that balance and flow during those 4 weeks.
And
Thank
I
you so
think that
much. Yeah.
I think there's something key to what Belen just said, which is embracing. That's the reason why we called the program Embracing, because what we're essentially teaching is for everyone to embrace the energies that we carry within. Because what happens is, for example, working women, the women, career women out there driven, maybe already experiencing a resentment towards the masculine energy that they're dominant in, because they're experiencing burnout and exhaustion, and who's going to have a great relationship with that? Nobody. So there's already like this animosity, this kind of like, you know, resentful relationship with their own masculine energy. And then I've had men that have come to me that say, oh, people think I'm feminine. They think I have feminine energy, and they want to be manly. And they think that, you know, they have to be a certain way to be a man. And so, you know, the society makes them wrong for being how they are. And when I teach them how to embrace the feminine energy, they become more powerful as men. So embracing the energies that we have naturally, organically within us is so important to living a peaceful and more joyful life, and for integrating these practices and for improving your life and your relationships.
I love it. You know what I can relate this to? I work a lot with negative and positive emotions in my practice as a holistic life coach. And I see that very similar, because people think that negative emotions are bad and they try to hide them. And we don't know how to coexist and work with them. And I see how this work is so important, because we have the masculine and the feminine, and people think that it's bad to have, or they don't even realize that they're having one or the other and how to balance them. And that's part of who we are. It's the same as with emotions. And I love your program and what you mentioned, because it is not just about accumulating knowledge, learning and having the theory there, but also actually putting it into practice and getting it into our lives. So your program is really powerful and really important. And how can people know more about the program? Where can we find more information?
Yeah, so we're gonna put the link on the bottom of the show, where people can go register, find out more about it, read up on it. You could visit our website. My website is miosantana.com. That's MIOSANTANA. There's information there, but we'll put the specific link for the event on the bottom of the show.
Yeah,
And
we have, I don't know if you were going to say it, Mio, but I'm super excited and I have to say it. We have an early bird special. So only for starting today, that is our lounge. Is that a word? Whatever. From today, the next 2 weeks is a early bird special. So we are doing this 4-week program with extra supportive coaching from us. You have 2 coaches if you need anything during the week, of $550 for those 4 weeks.
Yeah, and what's the most important thing about that, you guys, if you're even curious about this program, is that if you want to do this program with your couple, with your husband, your wife, this is the way to do the program, because with this early bird special, you're basically almost getting a 2-for-1 deal. So you definitely want to jump on that. Christina, you mentioned something really important, which was the negative and the positive. And oftentimes in society, we think negative is bad and positive is good. But there's a law of polarity that permeates everything in the universe, and the world, the universe abides by it. And it says that you can't have positive without the negative, and you can't have the negative without the positive. And that's how the energies work, the feminine and the masculine energies. There's a law of polarity, and so they're complementary opposites. And once you start to learn that they're not opposites, they're complementary, that's when really true peace starts to be created. And that's one of the reasons I do this work, is to really foster and nurture peace on this planet through men and women, through our environment, through the care that we give our earth. Like it permeates everything. So it's really interesting that you said that. And Buddhism teaches that there's no thought that's good or bad. It's our thoughts that make it so. So everything that's happening in your environment, it's there to show you something that you need to learn to then improve and continue your life. So when something comes your way and you think, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me, at the moment, a year later, you might be like, oh my God, this was the best thing that happened to me. I'm so glad I lost my job, or I'm so glad that they broke up with me, or I'm so glad that this happened to me because it got me to where I am now. So I love that you mentioned that, because it's really important for people to know.
Thank you so much. As I was saying at the beginning of this live interview, normally we do it in the Powerful Confident Warrior Women community. And today, because of a glitch with the program, we are live all over.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so we are there. Just remember to join our community. And then when you find this replay, or if you're right now there watching, leave a comment of anything that you learned during this live or during the replay.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Yes, please. Any questions, any comments? We also have two amazing gifts from Mio and Belen. So if you share questions or comments during this live or the replay until tomorrow, you will be running or have the chance to win one mini session to discover your daily practices to tap into your feminine energy. That's with Belen. And then one mini session to find your dominant energy and how to balance it. That's with Mio. So Belen, Carpio, Mio, Santana are giving these two mini sessions that are very, very useful and very much related to this topic that is not so well known and very powerful and useful. So I hope you really enjoyed this live and get value from it. I want to thank Mio, Santana, and Belen Carpio so much for joining today. Thank you, ladies. You want to say something else before we say goodbye?
Thank you very much for having us, and hope to see a lot of women feeling joyful, excited about life without the exhaustion, because you don't have to have that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be hard. That's the key. You can do everything and create everything you want in your life without it being difficult. So just know that that's possible. And we love you, and we're here for you. And thank you so much, Christina, for this space, for this platform, the amazing work that you're doing with these women and with your community. They're so blessed to have you, and I'm so grateful to be here today. So thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Powerful Confident Warrior Women. Blessings to everyone. See you next Friday.
Thank you.